The jungle gym. What kind of scouting report do you have on Washington this season?
Well, Washington's true to form. Well-coached team, tough, physical, great coaches, great players. They run a real aggressive scheme that's fundamentally sound, and they do some really nice things. Pretty quintessential Chris Peterson team.
How's the game plan change with Breland out?
Well, we got to have guys, step up at the tight end position. Bay and Camp Moyer, and then I think young Herbert's going to have a chance to try to get in there and see if we can obviously develop a little quicker than maybe we anticipated. We're a tight end developed team. We've got to move forward, and I'm just really unfortunate the way Breland was playing, and a lot of us are hurt for that, hurt for him, but move forward.
Any consideration of moving Webb back from wide receiver to tight end?
Yeah, there's consideration of it. Just got to make sure it fits. You want to give guys the best opportunity to succeed. Sliding guys in and out of roles, you got to be careful and cutting off your noses about your face in a lot of ways, and not giving them a chance to succeed at something they've been doing. So, considerations for sure.
How difficult is that for, in general, but then in particular, a younger guy this is his second year in the system of having to bounce around? It kind of makes sense when you can do it with like a Throckmorton.
Spencer?
Yeah,
that's kind of what I'm getting at. Is you got to be careful with just saying, he was that tight end and go back. He's a younger guy who we moved around already, and he started to develop at another position, and he's got a lot of stuff in his mind at wide receiver. To just flop him back in a tight end in mid-season and think that you're going to have proper form and things of that regard, you got to be careful. So yeah, that's accurate.
How big was that bye week just in reestablishing the run game? Last couple games, turnovers aside, you ran the ball well against Cal, ran the ball even better against Colorado. What's the biggest difference been between what happened before the bye week and what's happened since?
I think it's just a chance as you move throughout the season, you hope you start gelling, and the word sync you asked about a couple weeks ago, syncing better and better as the season goes on with guys, and moving together with what you think that you went into camp with and developed. And I think the bye week gave us a chance, just because in that proper time of the season, a chance to sit back and really divulge what we were doing and together and talk about it and put it on paper and then continue to do what we were doing. And I think that it showed up the last couple of weeks. Guys have done a great job.
Obviously, personnel changes year in and year out. Especially for Washington, no more Ben Burke-Irvin in there. I mean, how much of a difference does that make when you take a playmaker like that, almost like an Evan Weaver type guy, out of that rotation and game plan for this new defense?
Yeah, I think that there's two pieces of game planning when you talk about personnel. It's guys like Brent Kirvin last year and Weaver and this. You guys take those things in consideration with the grand scheme of things, and they've got great players in this team too. They put their guys in the position to succeed. That Kirvin was an awesome player, did a bunch of things. We took into consideration the whole week last week and last year during this time, and tried to put our best foot forward and did so. And came out victorious, which was nice. And I think this year is going to be the same thing. Got to make sure that we take in consideration everything they're doing, and can't just point at one guy in particular. But they got enough guys to make plays. They're doing a great job.
What kind of energy does a rivalry week bring?
Well, I think it's something you get excited about. I think that's the pageantry in college. That's what makes it pretty special in a lot of ways. When you've got two groups and kind of cheering against each other in a lot of regard, it brings up the pageantry of the whole thing, and it's exciting for our guys. And you got to make sure there's a fine line there of getting lost in the emotion of a game. You can't, you got to play with emotion, but you can't let the emotion play with you. And in a lot of ways, you can't just go ahead and try to all of a sudden change the way you play. You got to go out and make sure that you do the things that still result in winning, and then focus on obviously being in a hostile environment, in a road game and a conference game versus a really good opponent.
That's 5 straight games with Red scoring a touchdown. Has that been a part of the game plan, or is he just been a go-to guy?
I hope Red scores every game, yes. Absolutely.
What do you make of his play? Is he elevated his game a little bit, or kind of found his groove in the offense?
I think Red's a good example of a guy in now his third year that's developed, and you got to remember Red played running back in high school too, and so we put him wide receiver here when he got here. I think that he's done an awesome job, man. He's tough for pound for pound, one of the toughest guys we got on the team, and is a leader, one of the leaders of our offense. And so he's done an awesome job of developing, and we get him the ball in multiple ways. He's pretty valuable.
Marcus, what was that feeling like when you made the call in overtime last year to run? Obviously the entire stadium was expecting pass. For that to work out like that, were you nervous going into that split second, or did you know that was a home run play in that situation?
No, I felt good. I think we used if I remember correctly, we used a timeout right before it because I had a conversation about something I saw, and So we huddled up, and I said, "This is what we're going to do." And I think they were probably like the stadium was, thinking of something be something else, and it worked out. Guys executed up front, and that was an awesome job. I mean, that was a great job by our guys. We had some guys who got injured that game and filled in, and CJ was a freshman, and it was the right time. And our guys, executed. It's all about execution. No matter really the play call. It's to execute well, and it worked out. It was an awesome job. But this week is about a different story. It's a whole new week, whole new year, and we got to go out and do it on the road.
So what are the keys to replacing Jacob Breland, who obviously was so productive for you?
Well, I mean, I don't know. You got to be careful with saying that you should replace a guy who's being that valuable right now. If you haven't a guy, we just got to make sure the next guys are ready to go. Cam Moyer in the Bay, and finding guys to spell that role and be productive in that regard in what we're doing offensively. And those guys did a great job starting today in meetings yesterday, and I think we're I said someone earlier, we're bummed about Breland. It's a huge loss for us, but we got to keep going. It's no different than having 6 wideouts down at the beginning of the season. You just got to find a way. No one's going to stop the game.
Your 2 tackles are getting a lot of noise this week of mid-season All-American lists, and they don't have stats for offensive linemen. What do you make of their play and just how they've continued to get better week after week, it seems like? Yeah,
they've done an awesome job. Those guys don't have stat lines. Those guys just they got the bulk work they have up front, and they got the dirty work, and they do an awesome job. And they and Throck are 2 of the best in the country, and we're fortunate to have them. Great leaders for us on offense, and they're doing a great job through midseason.
Marcus, where did Breland rank for you? Because as far as tight ends you've worked with, because historically speaking, he was on pace to potentially be the best tight end in program history. If he kept it up, he might have been a Mackey winner. Was he at that ilk? Was he the best tight end you had worked with in your career at the college level?
Yeah, he was he did a really nice job for himself this season. Especially coming off just this story over the course of his career. He just did such a good job putting himself in position. We had a couple of other guys, Rogers, who's with the Packers now at Cal, who's a really good tight end, and a couple other guys here and there. But Breland was doing an awesome job. It's really unfortunate, and he put himself in a great position. We're gonna miss him.
Cyrus got an uptick in reps last week. Was that a situational thing, or is that more game plan?
He paid me. Cyrus has done an awesome job. We had CJ get on the game before, and his reps went up then, and he's done a really good job, man. Cyrus is a physical back. He's running hard. He's productive right now, and we don't deny production. Good.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Sorry.